All right, this next lady, she is a doll, and I love her, and she's the queen of comedy, and you're going to enjoy her. Goldie Garcia!
Garcia! Who said that back there? Oh, the drunk cholo. Okay, Garcia! And she ain't no lady, okay? How are y'all doing?
Gutierrez.
Oh, you're Gutierrez, okay. Who knows Jeff? Jeff, right? That's your name. You did a great job. Round of applause. Who knows Jeff here? Oh, okay. I thought part of you too. How are you all doing? Good? I'm from the valley. I'm a valley girl. How many people from the valley here? Wow! It takes a lot for you to come from the heights to the valley. You know, I'm a valley girl, which means I have a brother that'll shank you, you know? And I'm a Latina, get a good look, people. I know you don't get a bunch in the heights, especially my kind. You know, a Latina. Yeah, a real live one. You know, you can touch me later, okay? I'm not an inflatable doll, you know? But, yeah, get a good look at me. It's like seeing a comic, a Latina. Yeah, I'm going to be in the book of Guinness World Records. A Latina without a baby. Don't even go there. I'm sort of a whitewashed Mexican. You know, I can't speak Spanish, and people always come up to me and say, well, what kind of Mexican are you? Any Hispanics here? Any hostile, La Raza, Brown Beret, want to beat the hell out of white people, Hispanics here?
You're a coconut.
Oh, coconut. See, he's one of them. You know? I bring my own hecklers with me, okay?
Brown on the outside, white on the
Okay, that's enough. No, cut this guy off from the meth, all right? So,
Just help me out.
from the spice. I'm wearing flavored makeup, you know, but oh, you got that, thank you. Oh, you got that. That's a good one, isn't that cute? Flavored makeup for the guy on Spice, you know? Okay, let's get serious. So, you know, I don't like being called a hot tamale. And I get on an airplane going on a state, and I pass by a white guy, and he's like, ooh, a hot tamale. You know, I've heard that all my life. I think the day I was born, the doctor went up to my mother and father and said, Mr. and Mrs. Garcia, you just gave birth to a hot tamale. You know, a food, a hot tamale, where did they come up with this word? You don't hear Latino men saying about white women, ooh, check out the legs and that saltine cracker. I'd like to have that with a slice of cheese. And see, I'm not a proponent of fast food restaurants like Taco Bell. You know, I was raised on real Mexican food. Like, where did they come up with these names? Like gordita. Gordita means fat girl, you know? I need to tell you what chimichanga sounds like to you, you know? Chimichanga, you know? Doesn't it sound like that? Why does the Spanish in New Mexico sound so bad? I think they just brutalize it, don't they? Because Spanish is a beautiful language, you know? Like take the word in Roach Motel in English, Roach Motel. In Spanish, it's Casa de la Cucaracha. It sounds like a French dessert. Waiter, we're done. Can we have a Casa de la Cucaracha and 2 forks? But see, I wasn't raised on real Mexican food. And, you know, gordita means fat girl. I hate to work with a guy that just comes back to the office and says, from Taco Bell, and says, yeah, I just ate a gordita. Okay, Cochino, thanks for sharing. I'll wipe the hot sauce off your lips, okay? And I've said it 3 times. I'm a native New Mexican, which means I don't have car insurance. But thank you. But I was raised on real Mexican food. How many people raised on real New Mexican food? Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Fried bologna sandwiches. Right? That's what Mexican food used to be. Where the hell did Taco Bell come from? You know? always asking, are you the Garcia that owns that restaurant? I'm like, no, we're the Garcias that after every family gathering, there's a fist fight, okay? People, I've called 911 so many times at family gatherings that I've dated the entire SWAT team. And then my dad, who's a wonderful man, you know, I'm of Mexican heritage. Actually, I'm a mix. I've got Italian, Polish, and Mexican in my blood, Polish Jew on my mom's side. My mom was a Jewish woman. She married a Mexican Catholic man. So when she gave birth to me, being of Mexican heritage and her Jewish, she thought she gave birth to a maid. So I call myself a Mexican-American princess, you know. But being of Mexican heritage, I really get tired of people bashing the Mexicans. You know, the Mexicans are everywhere. Get used to it. There's no fighting it. They're in Norway, okay? You got a guy at the Gordunios in Norway, a chef. His name is Juan Martinez Guadalupe de Gutierrez de Stock Joke, okay? Which means all the comics like to make a joke about a long Mexican name. That's where Stock Joke comes in. But I was working in Old Town, and this tourist couple came in. They were wearing the his and her matching pussy whipped shirts. You know, how do you get a guy to wear the same shirt as you? How do you get a guy to wear the same shirt as you? You know, I've never been able to control a man that way, you know? But they started complaining about the Mexicans in Pittsburgh. And then he came up with something new I'd never heard, which of course was racist. Another new reason not to like the Mexicans, other than tax dollars this, illegal papers that. Well, back in Pittsburgh, we're afraid they're going to get drunk and run over our little girls. And I'm thinking, while you're here on vacation, they're not getting drunk and running over your little girls in Pittsburgh. No, they're impregnating them. Yeah, 9 months from now, when you get back to Pittsburgh, you're going to have a granddaughter you're going to have to name Hecho en Mexico. And I've been through a lot of racism as a comic, and I'm glad we finally reached where we can talk about it and even make fun of it. Like, I'd come home in the summers, and I left New Mexico because we didn't have a comedy club. But finally, we got a comedy club, but I was away. I come home in the summers, Dope and Mike here at the comedy club in the Heights, and they pulled me over and told me they didn't want Hispanic humor there. Can you believe that? Hispanic humor is okay for a Hispanic audience, but not here. Then I look at the menu, and they had quesadillas for sale, tecate for sale, mariachis for rent, chihuahuas for sale, chiclets. I'm thinking, damn, the Mexican spotted owl gets more respect than I do, you know? And it's weird how they don't want the human, but they'll take our food and our culture and our Cinco de Mayo and all that cool stuff. But, see, I've been through a lot in life. I'm an older Mexican-American woman, and I've been through ageism, sexism, racism. The only thing I haven't been into is cannibalism. I'm working on that joke. Childhood was really hard growing up with 9 kids. There were 9 of us, you know, and then there was me, you know. And look, to give you a barometer of how dysfunctional my family was, you know, I'm the sane one, all right? They're a little nutty. But we had like 4 brothers on the football team, 4 sisters on the birth control plan. And my dad threw nothing away. You know, I'd get the Teflon pans with the Teflon curling off them. I would pack them in a trash bag, drag them to the street. The next day I'd wake up after the trashman had come by with all that banging around, and the bag of pans be back upstairs in the kitchen. My dad would drag that stuff in the kitchen. He raised 9 kids. He's not throwing anything away. And he lifts a pan and he says, you could see his face through the hole in the pan, okay? Why are you throwing this away? This is a good pan. I'm like, Dad, you can't even play tennis with that pan. I've eaten so much Teflon off those pans, Dad, that these days peanut butter doesn't stick to the roof of my mouth. And the Spanish R's just roll off my tongue, you know? And then my mom was terrified, you know? My mom was terrified of the mountains. When I first started dating, she's like, well, ooh, what if he takes you to the mountains and attacks you? And I'm like, gee, I never thought of that. I better pack a picnic. Where's that Lady Guadalupe tablecloth? You know? I'll never forget my culture. I'm an educated woman. I have a diploma hanging on my wall from an Ivy school in Boston. Harvard University. Can you believe that, people? I'm from South Broadway originally. You know South Broadway, right? The Espanola part of Albuquerque, you know? So I have this diploma hanging on my wall from Harvard University. Yeah, I swiped it off my gynecologist wall, okay? With my feet, you know? Do you like that I'm not using the F word?
He liked you, didn't he?
God, I know I shouldn't bring my ex-husband to my shows, you know? I left him because of his drinking and he still hasn't quit, you know? But Albuquerque can be a little violent, you know how it's gotten violent. Don't you think we're living in a totally different society? Yeah, you know, first of all, I'm an older woman, all right? I remember the only people that had guns were old guys with tattoos and guns. Now it's the young kids with the guns and the tattoos. But I was coming out of the Smiths near Constitution and Carlisle. You know the Smiths? The rich people Smith in the center of town. The people are so rich that live around that community, they don't even need to gate it in. That's how rich these people are. And I'm walking out of the Smiths, and this little cholita, as soon as the doors close and we're in the parking lot, she's with her boyfriend and she looks at me, and she was a tiny little one. I'm tiny, she's tinier than me. And she had like eyeliner from here to Espanola, you know? But her eyeliner, you know how hard it is to put eyeliner. The other one was from here to Chilili, you know? Chilili, you know? Oops, sorry, did that slip out? I'm trying to work clean here. So she comes up to me, she's like, excuse me, were you checking out my man? And I said, no, and I put my hand on her shoulder, and she said, get your effing hand off me or I will kick your ass here right now. And I thought, my God, she wants to kick my ass. I have a Harvard degree and I'm from South Broadway. I'll kick her ass at a game of Scrabble. So then he started pulling her into the car, and as soon as he was pulling her into the car, I said, you don't even belong in this neighborhood, chola. And I went to the front of the truck because I knew that he had put the child locks on the door and I felt safe, and I'm a coward. So I went to the front, I shook my ass real hard, I slapped it and I flipped her right off. And right then, there at that moment, I knew I didn't belong in that neighborhood. I'll see you later. My name's Goldie Garcia. Thank you very much. Enjoy the show. I love Freddy, Charles, and Dave Roseman. Bye.
Keep it going for Goldie. You must feel right at home, Goldie.